The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN, 9:06 a.m. Tuesday morning. We got about 24 minutes to go until the start of trading, and we got markets pretty tame to kick things off, especially in context of where we've been over the last couple trading days. Quite the roller coaster ride indeed. We're going to be talking to our man Kevin Hinks at 9:15 as we do Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And folks, the last time we talked to Kevin, we were trading right where we are right now, 42.16. But guess what? We traded down 90 points and we got it all back since then. Remarkable when you look at where we are. You're talking about, folks, 90 points in the S&Ps, down and up, just like it's nothing. We get it all back, and we're sitting positive by 3 points right now at 42.16 in the S&Ps. Tech stocks, NASDAQ 100 up by 4 points right now, 14,134. The Dow positive by 29 points. 33,791. Russell barely in the negative right now, down about 6 points at 2274. All the indices, we'll call it basically flat, especially in the context of where we were in terms of the volatility we have on the downside and the upside over the last couple of trading days. You're talking about the Dow, basically a 900-point move in both directions from Friday and Monday action. We're sitting at 33,788. Crude holding up relatively well. We're negative 38 cents on the session, but all things considered, sitting right near all-time highs, recent all-time highs, I should say. 73.36 this morning. You're trading at 72.76 right now. You got gold at $17.80, down about $2 on the session. And notes and bonds. We got Chairman Powell. He's going to be in front of Congress today, 2 p.m. Eastern time. His remarks already made public. You got the 10-year. 132.04. Now, I'm going to pull up the article I was reading it this morning, talked about it briefly in the morning market kickoff. As Bloomberg puts it in their headline, roller coaster ride in bonds puts onus on Powell to bring calm. Well, you could put that on almost any headline anytime Chairman Powell is going to be talking. Treasury traders looking for Federal Reserve Chair Powell to provide some calm after a volatile few sessions that have sent yields on what one bank described as a roller coaster ride. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people will call it. The 10-year yields, now this is what was remarkable I want to get into, have swung 25 basis point range in the past 3 sessions. Folks, that's a quarter point. That's a quarter point when the yield is only 1.5%. I mean, that's 1/6 of the entire yield. It's moving, right? When you think about it, it's yielding 1.5%. Now, when you start doing percentages on percentages, you get yourself in trouble, okay? But it's a substantial move. Monday's trading encapsulated that volatility with yields initially dropping to 1.35% before climbing to 1.5% by the session close, the largest gap since February. I mean, just remarkable. You can't overstate what a move that is. Powell set to testify to U.S. Congress on the pandemic response in the economy. In written remarks prepared for the testimony, he said that inflation should move back toward the U.S. Central Bank's 2% target once supply imbalances resolve. Okay, so getting into some of what he said, this is already out there. Is that it? I got 2 articles here we're jumping back and forth from. Here are some of the numbers. Here is some of what he's going to be talking about, okay? So Powell renews forecast for inflation subsiding toward Fed's goal. Said inflation had picked up but should move back toward the U.S. Central Bank's 2% target once supply imbalances resolve. Excuse me. Dealing with a little bit of allergies this morning, shaking it off. Inflation has increased notably in recent months, Powell said in written remarks prepared for his Tuesday testimony before the House Select Subcommittee on the coronavirus crisis, citing increases in oil prices and a rebound in spending as the U.S. economy reopens. As these transitory supply effects abate, inflation is expected to drop back toward our longer run goal. That is his opinion. That is not a fact. These are all speculations, folks, okay? Chairman Powell is very much constrained. I was having this conversation with my dad yesterday. He's very much constrained. His position is not one in which you are expected to make leaps of speculation. Okay, he is going to be data-driven to the nth degree. Okay, as these transitory supply effects abate, inflation is expected to drop back toward our longer-run goal. Expected, in his opinion, is what it should say. Okay, there's a huge difference of opinions going on in terms of whether inflation is going to abate back to their long-term goal of 2%. Investors will tune it in. So let's see. Powell continued to sound optimistic on the outlook for employment in his congressional testimony, just cherry picking some of the comments he has in here. Job gains should pick up in the coming months as vaccinations rise, easing some of the pandemic-related factors currently weighing them down, he said. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, folks. He'll be out there at 2 o'clock. He'll be answering questions. We know where he stands somewhat in terms of what he's been saying all along. He was just out there with his with the Fed meeting last week. And I imagine it's going to be much of the same, and we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, pretty remarkable moves in the tenure ahead of Chairman Powell going to Congress to talk about the pandemic response and how that shakes out. All right, jumping around to what else we got going on. Let's see where we start. We got a lot going on this morning. How about GameStop? Let's kick it off with GameStop this morning. The meme stocks. How about GameStop? Let's pull it up. So they have completed pushing out some shares to the public. GameStop is up another $15 right now. You're up at $214.61. You spiked to $220. We closed yesterday at about $200. So GameStop shares, $1 billion share sale. Remarkable how much money this company is raising. Now, usually when you push out shares to the public, shareholders don't like that because there's a dilution factor there when you're just taking shares, pushing out to the public, raising capital. But nonetheless, so they sold 5 million additional shares, raising $1.13 billion in capital to accelerate the growth. Now, you jump into the Analyze tab on, I'm not even sure what we have here for long trades. Analyze, we'll get to the fundamentals of this company. What I wanted to bring up here is we got about 70 million shares outstanding. This company is worth about $15 billion. I mean, you tie this back, folks, okay, to where we were in the beginning of this, in terms of the beginning of the year, we'll push it all the way back. You're talking about $3, okay? You're talking about $3. Whoops. And where were we just? We're talking about a company with only, is that right, 70 million shares? The numbers confound me. Yeah, it must be. 70 million shares. So what was that? Was it only trading about a $210 million valuation? I think there were less shares even at that time. Point being, the amount of cash this company has on hand compared to the entire market capitalization that this company was worth at the beginning of 2021 is just remarkable. Kudos to the management over there, making the most of what they can. So it's the second stock sale that GameStop's conducted since the company became a star. They sold 3.5 additional shares in April, raising $551 million. They've been pushing out shares, rightfully so, because management knows this is a ripe opportunity for this company. They need capital if they're going to transform it, and we'll see what happens. It's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, as in if there's enough investors out there that are willing to basically just write a blank check to the management over at GameStop and figure that they're going to turn this company around, maybe the valuation holds for the time being. Nonetheless, you got GameStop going to open up about $15 this morning. Stay tuned, folks. When we come back right after the break, we're going to be talking to Kevin Hicks this morning. Stay tuned. Back to Green.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&P up 3 points right now. NASDAQ 100 up about 8 points. Dow up 38 points. Russell barely in the red. Pretty tame action to kick things off, especially after the volatility we had yesterday. You got Chairman Powell going in front of Congress today. 2 p.m. Eastern time, he'll be taking questions. Let's jump over to our man Kevin Hinks, folks. Every trading day, 11 a.m. Eastern time, live on Tiger TV at TFNN. You got Fast Market by the TD Ameritrade Network. Kevin Hinks, Alex Coffey, the team at TD Ameritrade, breaking down the market action, breaking down hypothetical trades. Kevin Hinks, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy O'Brien. Happy Tuesday. Big start to the week. Interesting turn of events overnight. I think that China Bitcoin news is pretty catastrophic to Bitcoin. You're seeing the price action in that. But all things being considered, we had a really good Red Book number this morning, up 17.6%. I think, Jerome Powell speaking today in front of Congress is pretty important. Obviously, I think you're going to see Republicans ask him one thing and Democrats ask him another. So he's going to be jumping back and forth like a tennis match between one topic to another. But all things considered, that was a pretty strong bounce back Monday yesterday that we had after Friday's sell-off. And, we'll see what the follow-through today is, Tommy.
You know, Kevin, I started off the program. I said we're going to be talking to our man Kevin Hinks at 9:15 p.m. Eastern time, 9:15 a.m. Eastern time, as we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I said we haven't talked to him since last Thursday, and since that time, market's basically right where it was, Kevin. But guess what? We got about 90 points to the downside, and we got them all back by the time that you were back on the air with us, man. Remarkable action in the turnaround, like you said. And we'll see what Chairman Powell has to say. His remarks are already out there, and it's kind of what you'd expect, right? He's looking that inflation is going to be transitory. He's waiting for those numbers, but he's going to get some questions, as you talked about, in front of Congress, and we'll see how that shakes out in a big way. How about the note and bond move yesterday, Kevin? Staying on the Fed. We had a yield of 1.35%, which is just crazy, and, to put it in light terms, in terms of ending it with about a 1.5% yield, Kevin, on that 10-year. We almost got a full point of movement, same thing, on that 10-year, just across the board. Remarkable action. What do you look at when you see that type of move? And I know it factors into the market. They're definitely correlated. But what were you looking at with the moves in those yields kind of going on yesterday as well?
Well, when I look at 10-year yields, I'm looking for, a move out of this range. and looking for a move that stays in this range, actually, is what I'm looking for, because in this range, a quiet bond market is vital to how we trade stocks, right? It doesn't, as you can see, Tommy, it doesn't take much volatility in the bond market to really affect the overall stock market. And I think you're seeing, this recovery and this buy the dip mentality is remaining in stocks. Why? Because bonds are quiet. Bonds got up to 176, and now they're sitting right at or near 1.5%. And so that calm that's taken over the bond market, and actually weakness a little bit, back down to below 1.5, I think is what's making stocks attractive still at this level. So I think, the bond market is telling us that there's no panic in sight in this market in terms of inflationary pressures. So, take the crude oil market out of it, and the rest of these commodities and inflationary inputs are just not jumping higher. They're actually all coming down off their highs.
It will be interesting to see, man, how that data shapes the conversation in the coming months. Seems like Chairman Powell's got all the ammunition he needs to build that argument like he did last week, talking about that inflation's transitory for the reasons you just stated right there, talking about oil, whether it's used cars, we're all familiar with. I got a chart of the VIX up here as well, 1749 this morning. We got lower lows and lower highs, Kevin, just kind of as a basic trend going all the way back to whether it's the highs of last year or the highs really coming in. We had a 37.51 high earlier just this year. So all things considered, in that sell-off, you're talking about the Dow. We had 900 points almost down and up, and the VIX was only at about 21. So all things considered, I would agree, not too much hysteria going on in this market right now, especially compared to where we've been over the last, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, or even the last year and a half. With everything going on, Kevin, we got Fed Day. We got GameStop rocking, of course. They raised $1 billion, pushing out some shares. They're completed. What are you guys going to be talking about on the program coming up at 11 o'clock today, Kevin?
Ironically, when we get to this end of earnings season, right? And you can see Nike and FedEx at the end of the week. That usually signals the end of earnings season. You'll see them Thursday after the bell. What Alex does, we set up themes. Alex and I set up themes for the week. Yesterday we did shopping. Today, frankly, Tommy, I'm waiting for the subject to come from the mothership at TD Ameritrade, and it is not here yet. Normally I have it by this time, but I'm not here. It's not here yet. So, here's what you can bet. Because it's so, it's light in terms of overall earnings, we do themes, which means yesterday we did Google, Amazon, right? And we compared those two. That's what we continue to do, is work on themes of comparisons that look like folio covers. So that's what we're looking. I just don't have the topic yet, Tom.
Listen, I love it, man. I know last week you guys were talking about Walmart and Target, right? Then you got Home Depot and Lowe's, talking Amazon. It's Prime Day, of course, folks out there, Amazon. Go out and buy some Amazon stuff that you might not even need. It's on sale. No, I kid. Be careful. We live in quite a sales environment, man. And with everything else, how about crude, Kevin? We'll finish it up with that. Yeah. Holding up relatively well, and I say relatively, man. It's like $73 right now, basically, give or take. We're negative 34 cents technically on the session right now. But, man, this chart, I got it up here on a daily on the Thinkorswim platform, Kevin, and it's basically a one-way rocket ship from November 2nd at $33.64, and we're sitting at $72.78, making a high on this chart recently of $73.36. You talked about the factor in terms of this factoring into prices across the board as everybody uses oil. What do you see happening with this crude market? Are we really on our way to like $80, $90, or what do you see happening in that market right now?
Well, the answer to that, Tommy, is yes, if there's no inputs on the supply side of the ledger, right? Right now we have the demand side of the crude oil ledger growing and the supply side holding steady, right? They're not adding any supply. They're not bringing on any new production. U.S. production is still around 11 million barrels a day. That's 2 million barrels off our high numbers. So with the regulation, with the suspension of some of the permits to drill, with OPEC and OPEC Plus controlling their supply, this is a commodity that is got a different supply-demand relationship than other commodities do, like the grain markets, like metals and things like that. So even though the dollar is rallying, and that should put pressure on crude oil, the microeconomic story in crude oil is much more stronger. And that is, let's face it, supply is being held down while demand rises as the economy's open. That's what's bringing crude oil to these. But eventually, something's got to give, Tommy, because these companies are enormously profitable at $60 a barrel. So at 73, they've got to be heavily in this market. So, it's going to play out over time. It's not done yet, though, Tommy.
It's a great point, man. Two factors, folks, supply and demand. They both matter. Kevin, man, we appreciate the conversation. We look forward to the program coming up today at 11 o'clock.
Thanks for having me on, Tom.
Thanks, Kevin. Take care. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back from the market open.
Are you having fun trading the markets, but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We've got markets open. We got the S&P positive by 1 point to kick things off. We got the NASDAQ positive by 1 point as well. The NASDAQ 100, that is, make it 7 points. The Dow basically flat right now, negative by 11 points, and the Russell negative by 7 as well. Bitcoin, how about it? Under 30,000, so quite a slide, folks. It's a one-way trip. Remarkable. You look at just the last week. You back it up to Tuesday afternoon, folks. That is 1 week ago. Today is Tuesday. Not sure if you know it. Today is Tuesday. We were trading at 41,000 last Tuesday. We're trading at 29,000 right now. Okay? Watch out on the Bitcoin crypto sector, folks. My dad, Tom O'Brien, he was in the Tigers Den today. He was talking about, what was he talking about? Something like 11,000 something. Where are we at? What did he have in here? Where we go? 11,736 potentially on that number, no matter what you're thinking about, folks. All right? You don't have to be a statistician. You don't have to be a brilliant chartist to see the 100% retracement that we've gotten since the run from January. You begin at a price point of about 30,000. You were as high as 42,730 back on January 8th. You accelerate to 65,520 the day Coinbase goes public. Talk about keeping that market higher for that public debut. 65,520 didn't take long for crypto to fall apart, folks. 29,715. I've talked about it many times in the past. Bitcoin will be around. This is my opinion. It will be around, but it doesn't have to be around at 30,000 for right now. What's the difference between Bitcoin being 20,000? All right, we're just going to put it back on like a 5-year weekly to see the full run. Does everybody remember when Bitcoin started trading on futures and you were trading at 20,000 and you traded down to 3,000? Folks, you back it up to prior to COVID, okay? Prior to COVID, you had Bitcoin trading at about 10,000. We're only a year and a half past that, not even. We're really 16 months past that, and Bitcoin has tripled in price. Any other vehicle, that would be an extraordinary return, right? A 200% return over about the last 16 months. Yeah, well, things got a little bit ahead of itself, okay? If you know what a parabola looks like, it's parabolic, and guess where that parabolic nature ends? At about 10,000, folks. Critical level for Bitcoin as we're coming down to this area that it bounced in the early part of this year. You were down there at about 30,000, 29,695. And as I talked about in the beginning part of the show, it's across the board. We'll pull up some of the other cryptos later in the program. Ethereum, let alone Doge. Do not play with Doge. I think Doge is sitting at like 17 cents right now. If you look where it was, the peak, guess where the peak was on Doge? Elon's SNL appearance. I mean, it's just remarkable. You got to be aware of what's going on in terms of the volatility. You got Bitcoin making highs when they push out Coinbase. You got Doge going to highs when Elon appears on SNL. Then everyone sells it off. There's a lot going on in this market, folks. Just be careful because volatility not even close to over in that crypto sector. All right, let's take a look at gold. Gold down about $7 right now, $17.75. Quite the acceleration, of course. Now, that's a weekly. Let's put it back on a daily to see the run. Gold contract, if you just back it up to really the run we had from March 30th, okay, we were down there at about 16.75. You trade up to 19.20, making highs on June 1st. We've come right back to about the 618, 17.75, also correlating to the chop around consolidation area we had from about April 19th. Going to a price point, date point, I should say, almost of May 5th. You chop around in that area. We've pulled back to the 618. We'll see if gold can hold. But boy, oh boy, from June 11th, we're talking about from $1,900 to $1,775 right now in the price of gold. All right, let's jump around to some of the equities we have moving this morning. So GameStop, as I talked about, we'll put it back on a 15-minute, up about 7% on the news that they have pushed out the shares. So they announced to pull up GameStop. And what they actually did. So this was announced, I believe it was June 11th, June 9th. There we go. So they have completed its at-the-market equity offering program, initially disclosed on June 9th. So 13 days ago, GameStop came out and said they're going to push out 5 million shares to the public. They have now pushed out those 5 million shares to the tune of $1.13 billion. Now, what's crazy here, right, is that think about, I mean, many people have talked about what should GameStop be trading at? What's a fair valuation for a company like GameStop right now? People threw around $20. They threw around maybe $40. All right, let's just call it $50 for good old fun, okay? If they're selling $50 and they're selling 5 million shares, they're pushing out 250 million. Well, they just raised $1.13 billion. They raised almost $900 million more than maybe would be appropriate if GameStop was trading at $50 a share. Now, who says it's supposed to be trading at $15? Guess what the right price is that GameStop should be trading at right now? The right price is $214.87 because the market's never wrong, folks. People are buying it at that price. They're selling it at their price. If you studied economics, supply, demand, wherever they cross, that's where the price equals. You can't deny it. It's at $215. But the amount of money that this company is building, they're going to have a chance. They can do almost anything they want with this money, which is the most remarkable thing. I mean, imagine you have a company like GameStop that just transforms the entire nature of their business. Now, yes, you have the new chairman, from Chewy. Cohen, he's going to be talking about pushing this into the online spectrum. But they got billions of dollars right now to do whatever they want with. And a company, when you talk about the Analyze tab, I mean, this is almost a blank check company. When you talk about their $15 billion market cap, and of that $15 billion, they got billions of dollars in cash that they've raised to try and basically transform this company. We'll see how it goes. I mean, this is basically a story of investors deciding to give billions of dollars to a CEO and chairman that they entrust, and entrusting that he'll do well in the future. Don't see it pulling back anytime soon on that premise, but it's a lofty goal, and there's no reason to think that he can turn this company around when it's struggled so much and the competition is so fierce with where they will be. Let's check around the other notable GameStop stock. We got AMC down about 6%. Maybe the Reddit boys and girls are dumping some AMC to buy all that GameStop shares. Nonetheless, AMC down about 5.8%. That's a weekly. You put it on a daily. All things considered, pretty strong action on AMC as you're chopping around between about 50 and 60. All right, let's take a look at some of the other stocks that are moving this morning. We talked about GameStop, Microvision. Now this is usually what happens when a company says that they're going to sell shares. They're down, and I'm sure let's see, we checked on a pre-market, they were down. MVIS, Microvision, MVIS, not X. Oh, come on, MVIS, there we go. Down about 8%. They're pushing out shares to the raise about $140 million of stock from time to time. And this is what usually happens, folks. The market doesn't like the idea that you're diluting and selling shares into the public. It's down about 8% on that news. Google. So this is interesting. Now, Google. Here's the headline on Google here. EU opens antitrust probe into Google's advertising unit. Basically, folks, if you look at the chart, what's it saying? It's saying the market knows all this stuff's happening, folks. All right, Google's sitting up there right near all-time highs, doesn't even budge on this news. You have the European Commission open a new investigation into Google to assess whether the tech giant has favored its own online display ad technology services. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe they have. We are concerned that Google has made it harder for rival online advertising services to compete in the so-called ad tech stack. That's the European Commission Executive Vice President talking. The Google investigation adds to a list of probes and fines that have taken place in the European market in recent years. Not too surprising, folks. Google, just remarkable strength across the board. You were just trading at a price point of $1,400 back in September, let alone you're trading at a price point to start off the year of $1,739. You're talking about being up almost 50% so far in 2021 for Google shares unchanged. It is priced in. The market knows they're dealing with some antitrust issues, whether it's in the U.S. or abroad, and they're taking it in stride. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps negative by 1 point right now. I got a chart here of the S&Ps on a daily basis. We got the trend line I've been talking about on a couple occasions as we dip below that level on Friday. Got a pair where we're talking about here. Remarkable action. Didn't take long to get back in. It looked like we were going to break below that trend channel line. The market says no way. Right back within that trend channel line. And if you trade to the top boundary line, folks, you're talking about 4,400. Doesn't mean you have to. You could skip across the bottom line of that. But if you're a technician, you like those channel lines, the S&P right back into that channel line we've been in. Now, this really lines up well if you begin this on November 1st, about October 30th. You see the correlation in terms of from that point, we were trading at about 3,200. We'll call it 3,225 in the S&Ps. We almost touched the low we had on February 1st. You touched that area on March 4th. Touch it again almost on March 25th. You bounce again in May, whether it's May 12th, 13th, also in that area, May 19th, and then we just dip below that level. So we'll see where we trade from there. All right, jumping around to other stories we got out there. Peloton. There's your chart of Peloton. Let's back it up to get the full COVID acceleration. You drive from a price point of $17 in the March lows, you make it to 171. You pull back a 50% retracement. You got Peloton up 2.4% today. So the news on Peloton, as they see the office as a new way to grow subscribers as people head back to their desk. I mean, yeah, I like that plan if you can get it done. Not sure it's going to happen. But Peloton launching a corporate wellness program as it aims to reach new users and grow its member base. I mean, bright idea if you can make it happen. The businesses that sign up will be able to offer employees subsidized access to Peloton's digital fitness membership and its high-end cycles and treadmills. So you got Wayfair, Samsung, SAP, and Sky among the first businesses to join the program, Peloton said, and they're trying to offer that through businesses. Basically, the businesses are going to be able to sign people up to offer employees basically a perk, right? Maybe you got people who are doing hybrid. They'll be in the office. They'll be at home. Competition for human capital is at a peak, folks. And this is going to be one of the things. It's probably what Peloton's pitching, saying, hey, you know, it's all going to be about human capital here in terms of competing. You're already seeing it in businesses, right? They're allowing, whether it's, you got Goldman bringing everybody back ASAP. They're going to be competing with some of the other businesses that are bringing people back, whether it's next month in July and then bringing them back only 3 days a week, et cetera. But they're going to be offering this as a perk. For its corporate partners will receive access to tailored features such as team tagging, group exercises, encourage accountability, foster bonding with colleagues. I mean, it's basically a press release from Peloton. They got all the ideas here. Not sure that they can make it happen. Some of the numbers that I did want to talk about in here, though, pretty staggering. So in addition to cycling and running in the app, the Peloton app, this is completely separate. Okay, you got to buy like an $1,800 bike, and then you got to pay them every single month to the tune of an all-access membership of $39 a month, which is actually more than I pay for my real gym membership. This is one that blows me away, okay? I love to bike outdoors. Fortunate that I live in Florida. Biking is an amazing exercise, folks. Very easy on your joints, okay? Amazing exercise to get, you know, it's It's just a great way to get exercise, as we all, I'm sure, know. But $39 a month after you spend $1,800 on a stationary bike seems a bit excessive, in my opinion, which is why I think Peloton had some trouble early on. The market was saying the same thing. All right, they pushed this thing out. It made it up to 37 towards the end of 2019. And just like that, it crashes to 17, talking about being at the right price, the right place at the right time, okay? In terms of COVID, there are many companies in the right place at the right time. Zoom, one of them as well. Peloton accelerates to 170, 109. But look at how many people they have signed up. So you can sign up a digital membership for people who don't own Peloton equipment. It costs $13 a month. I mean, I haven't been to the gym in a while, folks. I should have canceled it. LA Fitness, I'm grandfathered in. I think I pay like $25 a month. And that includes the entire membership in an actual physical gym. And people are out there paying $1,800 a month to buy a bike for the privilege to pay $40 a month for their online classes. The margins that Peloton must be making off people paying $40 a month after they buy a bike. You're paying $40 a month to watch live classes. I mean, all they're doing is streaming a live class. Maybe they make it archivable. It's a ridiculous price. Now they're streaming it. You know, there's all this interactivity. I know they're tracking your heart rate. You can see everything going on there. There's more than that. But folks, when you're charging $40 a month for an online membership to watch online classes, and meanwhile, I can join a real gym that's got a pool and showers and every piece of equipment you want for like $25 a month. I can't square that in my head. They're doing well, though. This is what I got to tell you, because last year, Peloton saw incredible momentum. Revenue doubled to $1.8 billion. As of March 31st, Peloton had 2.08 million connected fitness subscribers, people who own a Peloton product and pay a monthly fee for access to its workout content. I mean, that's just remarkable. They got it done. There's no arguing with that. You got 2 million people paying that monthly fee, recurring revenue. We all know how it works. The company's growth hasn't come without problems, as is any case, right? But nonetheless, they're going to be trying to push it out to companies. Probably a great area to try and look for that growth, whether they can get it done. But businesses always got money, you know, in terms of it's always nice when you can try and sell it to a business and then they sell it to all their workers for you. And Peloton probably realizing that they're going to have trouble reaching the retail consumer over the next 12 to 24 months. Because if you didn't buy a Peloton over the last 16 months, are you really going to buy one now to sit at home over the next year when we're all excited to break out? That's probably what they're thinking. And nonetheless, now you did make it back to that 50%. This is a weekly, as I talked about. Today, you're up 2.7% on that acceleration. Look at that pop, 111.09. The market likes that news, rightfully so. If they catch a bid in terms of being able to secure some of those companies, it would make sense. If you're a human resources manager, if you're just a president of a public company, et cetera, you're competing for human capital. Okay, so not only is it going to be about flexibility for workers, right? Working at home, providing that flexibility and freedom that we've all become a little bit more accustomed to over the last 16 months or so. But maybe this is one of the perks that you're competing with, saying, hey, not only are we going to be providing that you work from home 2 days a week, but we're also providing Peloton access at a discount rate. We're going to have all the workers. Maybe it's TFNN, right? You know, if we're a bigger company, we got all the workers. We say, hey, we're having a Peloton class, 4 o'clock on Mondays. Join in, etc. Maybe it creates a little camaraderie, even when people are at home. It's a great idea. We'll see if it plays out. But Peloton, they're taking it and running with it, up 3% now at 111.35. All right, what else we got going on in terms of stock making moves this morning? Plug. The alternative energy provider lost 12 cents a share, wider than the 8 cent the market was looking for. Revenue a miss as well. The company said it was hurt by the short-term issues such as hydrogen shortages and the Texas freeze. Texas got some big problems with their power grid down there. I know they love controlling it themselves, but those poor people in Texas, what they're dealing with, and it's going to keep happening, folks. But Plug, so they are up this morning now. Interesting story about Plug, 31.84. I've told it a couple times before. We'll back it up to the lows. Plug was under $1 in 2018. Opened myself up a Robinhood account sometime early last year, 2020, I think, just to see what all the hype was about. We get questions about it on the air. One of their marketing ploys is they give you one free share when you sign up. Well, they gave me a share of Plug. I didn't know what was going on, so I took my $4, sold it at the beginning of 2020, and moved on. Made it up to $75.09, and then made it back down to $18. Nonetheless, volatility, but Plug up by 6.6% on their earnings today. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back to finish up the show.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps minus 4 points right now, 42.10. Pretty tame action going on. Reminder, we got Chairman Powell out there, 2 p.m. Eastern time. He'll be talking about the market, and we'll be seeing what he has to say. Jumping around to wrap things up. So, story out there from Bloomberg talking about the Delta variant. And, folks, you don't have to live in fear, but you should live in reality of what's going on. It's harsh reality, this Delta variant, and I'm going to bring up some of the vaccinations. So it says under-vaccinated U.S. counties, okay, gaining steam. The remarkable statistic in here that got me, less than 25% of the population is fully vaccinated in at least almost 500 counties. Bloomberg found. You put the map on there, you can see where it is. We're in the, the middle of the country, the south of the country. You got in there whether it's Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, some of the hardest hit. You got Florida as well. Folks, you get into it. If you're in those areas, Florida, unfortunately, you just bring things up in terms of where we are. Florida numbers, Hardee County. Now, to put things in perspective here, folks, here's Hardee County. I'm in Polk County right now. You got 7 cases per 100,000, okay? Tampa has got about 8 cases per 100,000. Hardee County is about 21, okay? You can see the numbers, and you see the rises we have going on, okay? Now, the tough thing in Florida here is we're seeing the national numbers in Florida, and they're great. They're outstanding. Okay, Florida is in a case of its own right now, unfortunately. You see the numbers in terms of the number of counties, right, and cases per 100,000 people, and you see the changes going on. Okay, for these counties, and there's your vaccination rate. Hardy County, 24%. Jackson, 29%. Baker, 19%. All right, I want to bring it up because you get to Massachusetts, folks, okay, and you talk about the vaccination rates, and you talk about cases per 100,000, it's basically 1 to 0. Okay, and why is that the case, folks? Because you pull up the vaccination rates and you're talking about all residents, 55% in Suffolk. Okay, Middlesex County, 62%. For some context in what I was talking about, folks, when you back it up to Florida, when you put it on the chart, you're talking about, we'll pull up the vaccination numbers because it's harsh, 24% in Hardy County. Polk, 35% of all residents. All right, so be careful out there. And get vaccinated if you can, and tell people if they can as well. Some tough numbers in there in Florida. Kudos to the people in Massachusetts getting it done up there, and they get to live risk-free. Stay tuned, folks. Basil Chapman, speaking of Massachusetts, Comedy Alive. Coming up next, folks, with the Tiger Technicians Hour live programming all day. Tom O'Brien, my dad, he's back at 3 o'clock. He's got